Hello everyone, I'm back with part 2 of my Sunday grind. If you haven't seen part 1, this should be a response to the first part, so go check that out. Yeah, that will be the first part. I just kind of started in the middle of the day, started recording, see if anything cool happens, and you'll kind of get an update on how everything's going if you start watching that video. Oof. This is an interesting spot. I think I'm gonna fold mainly because I have 3 hands after me that are. If I was in the big blind, I'd definitely call that. But with the hands after me, it leaves me kind of vulnerable to a big hand showing up there, and I don't like having people wake up with big hands against me. Oops, I'm a little slow there. Okay. Oh jeez, I got that. Yeah, so I'm playing these 6 tournaments. I got one tournament going on my other screen that you guys can't see. All these are on Lock Poker, which I think is a great site to play on. It's US friendly. I've had a lot of success here. It fits my stakes really well. It won't fit really high stakes players really well, but as of now, I mean, it's pretty much the highest stakes site you can play on as a US player. There's not really much else going on because of the recent shutdowns of Full Tilt and Poker Stars, but you know, it fits my bankroll really well, fits my level of play really well, so I love it. Haven't had any problems with it, so also, if you do want to play, I would recommend going to my blog, which is in the description of this video, or maybe you're just watching this on my blog, I don't know. But go to my blog, and if you want to help me out, you can sign up through a link I have on there to Lock Poker, and you get 35% rake back, which is always nice. And all the bonuses you normally get, you just kind of help me out a little bit, which would be kind of cool. So won't affect your account in any way, so my little plug there, I guess. Oh, folded 3. I would have called the shove by that guy. I probably should have been talking about that instead of plugging myself, but oof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. I got enough to wait around for a little bit better of a spot. That was right about on the edge. And usually hands on the edge I do the safe play with. I don't know if that's what I should be doing, but that's what my tendency is. I feel like whenever I don't do the safe play, I really get burned. So yeah, get out of there. I just don't want to mess around with that spot. See, here's a better spot right here. Could just shove. Kind of like just shoving because I won't have to play this hand post-flop if I miss. But I'm just going to raise it up pretty big. And then if I do miss, I'm going to most likely just shove on any flop I miss and, you know, try to win it that way. But Ace-King I do have a little bit of trouble playing in situations like this because I want to get it all in pre-flop, but you know, I don't want to necessarily just shove with it. I do want to protect the hands I do just shove with, so that's a way to do it. But it's just when I have that many blinds, I don't feel like just shoving with it's the right play. I want to get hands like Ace-Jack and Ace-Queen involved, which they'll likely get involved, at least Ace-Queen will if I shove, but you know, Ace-Jack, Ace-10 might be able to get away from it. Good players, if they know what I'm shoving with, probably wouldn't, but you know, that's the reason why I'm shoving with my weaker hands, because I can get them to fold hands like that. But you know, I want those weaker hands to get involved. I also want to get out pairs. So there's a lot of weird dynamics with the hand like Ace King, so it can become tricky to play in spots like that. With this hand I'd play if I had more chips, but not with that few chips. So it's a tricky hand to play in certain spots because it plays so strangely. It's so strong in some situations and so weak in others. And then if I miss the flop with it, you know, I'm very easily beaten depending on what the other person has. But, you know, a lot of flops are going to make my hand all of a sudden not very strong. Big question here is if I can get this guy to fold or not. He has not been raising very often according to his stats. Actually, that was a mistake. I am looking at the wrong person's stats, unfortunately. He's still not raising very often with his stats. Actually, it was the right person's stats. I just was in the wrong spot. Or no, it was a different guy who raised. That's too bad. Those are little mistakes I really shouldn't be making. Hopefully I take this on with the deuce. And I do. It's exactly what I was trying to do there, really. I mean, I'm not trying to bluff that pot. There wasn't a lot of value in bluffing it. It's a really small pot. I'm just gonna, you know, try to hit something and try to get it to showdown and win. I feel like I'm gonna get myself into more trouble trying to bet him off of something than I am just letting the pot play out. Sometimes it's definitely good to make moves in situations like that. Actually, I really like 3-betting this guy with this hand. In that other situation, blind versus blind, sometimes it's definitely a good idea to make moves, but when that many chips meant so little to my stack, I really thought, you know, messing around with it was just completely unnecessary. I'm just going to get myself into trouble. Lose pot chips I didn't need to lose, you know, risking a lot more than there is to gain. Probably a lot said for a pot that was very uninteresting. But I'm getting down to 2 tables here. I'm very short, actually. So, hands like that ace-9, I probably need to start shoving now, you know, I'm really short. I mean, I have 8.5 blinds, which isn't horrendous. It's short, definitely short, but you know, I can take the blinds down with that pretty easily, I feel like. So I'm not desperate, but I can't just wait too much longer. I gotta make something happen. But I also don't want to get in a really bad spot, because if I double up, I'm looking great. So, you know, I don't want to just throw my chips in there and get it in bad. I really want to look for a spot where I can get my chips in good, because if I double up, I really am in good shape. I'll have, you know, 75, 80,000, and, you know, I'll be in great position to try to make a run at this final table. So, you know, I want to be concerned about getting my chips in there, getting blinds and everything, and protecting what chips I do have, while trying to make sure I get my chips in decently. Although, you know, one trip through the blinds and I just get decimated. Here's an interesting spot. I actually kind of like the spot for stop and go, because I don't think I can raise and get these guys both out now, but depending on what comes on the flop, or I can just hit top pair. Now I'm pretty much slow playing. I'm just trying to get it in. Wow, he's just shoving. Yeah, I'm just putting it in here. I mean, if I'm beat, I'm beat. I can't really. That is a pretty strong bet, though. I don't know what this guy's up to. But, oh man. Kind of looks like a smallerish pair, medium-sized pair. I could easily be beat here, but I just gotta try to get in with the best hand. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. A better jack was... This kind of what his hand looked like to me, honestly. I got 21st for $24. I was kind of worried about that with that bet. I just felt like I couldn't. Could I have gotten away from that hand though? I mean, hitting top pair there is pretty strong. So, I don't know, folding top pair just seems like a really weak play. But it would have been the right play. So, I don't know if I'm looking at it too results oriented right there, or if, you know, that really would have been the right play to make. I just don't see how often he doesn't have me beat there when I really start thinking about it. I mean, tens, straight draws. I can't remember if there's a flush draw or not, but if there's flush draws, you could have all those hands. You know, you could have eights, sevens probably. But that's not a huge amount of hands that I beat. Maybe a hand like, he wouldn't have probably limped with an ace king or ace queen, and even some of the smaller pairs he's probably not limping with. Really, a lot of straight draws I probably beat, and you know, maybe a couple flush draws if there were flush draws out there, which I can't actually remember. I'm starting to regret not calling with that king queen. My chip stack isn't as big as I was really thinking it was. I only got 10 big blinds now, so I'm not that big of a stack, so maybe that would have been a good call. But anyways, that other hand, I don't think I played it was horrible. My review of that hand is basically, I played it like a mediocre player. I played it okay, but I feel like really good players are actually going to find a fold there. Because what else can you have other than a hand that beats me, other than a very few sample of hands, and it's better to keep my 30,000 than just throw it out after nothing. And I don't really have any outs if he has me beat, so I'm drawing pretty much dead. So here I just got to shove with the amount of chips I have in the blinds. And actually in this tournament, I mean, when you have this many chips, you can easily get called by worse. Surprisingly a good fold by me. Just, I'm in a pretty rough spot there, so results-wise, that was a very good fold. So yeah, I think the great players are going to find the folds there. The decent and good players are going to do what I did, which is frustrating because, you know, I want to be a great player. I want to make the great play. I don't want to make the play that the average player makes and grind out for my small win rate. I want to get up to the players that really do well. And with that king-queen, again, it's not the best spot, but, you know, his shoving range probably is somewhat wide, and I don't have as many chips as, you know, I was kind of hoping or thinking I had at the time. Anyways, we are at another hour, or another 14 minutes just about, so I'm going to stop this video, and I'll come back on part 3, and you guys can watch that. So, come back and watch me on part 3.